Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. My name's Chris and welcome to the autobiography if you are new to this channel. So I put this channel together to basically help inspire and motivate people, whether it's mental health, career development, finances. There's a range of topics that we're going to be going through. So today, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about my balls. So before we get into the video itself, I'd just like to take a moment to do the classic YouTube call to actions of if you can like, share and subscribe. This channel is slowly growing. We're building up a bit of a community and a bit of an audience. So if you like the content, feel free to like it, share it. So the purpose of this video is to look at Manual TRT blood test kit. It's a home test kit that spammed me on Instagram and Facebook, so well done for that. So cost about £40. So the purpose of this video is I'm going to show you first of all how to do the test kit. I'm going to show you the initial results I got back, and then I also follow this up with an enhanced blood test and a consultation with Manual themselves. So I'm going to be going down into the detail of TRT. I'm going to be going through their consultation, what they told me, their price structure, when you should do it, when you shouldn't do it. This isn't medical advice, this is just somebody off the street that's done it, and I thought it would be useful for everyone to know about it. I did this simply because I'm in my mid-30s, I was very active and athletic in my early 20s, and as you get older, your recovery starts to not be as quick as you used to. I'm not seeing the results that I used to get when I was in the gym. So if you're like me and you're in your mid-30s and everything's slowing down a little bit, you're still working out but your recovery is not as quick and you're not putting on the same muscle mass and you feel a bit foggy in your thought process and you don't feel as mentally clear, if that makes sense, this could be the video for you. So the reason I even looked into TRT is earlier in my life, I can literally look at a pair of weights and instantly get jacked. So from speaking to Manual and from the results that I've got, they've basically told me that when I was younger, I probably had over testosterone. So for me, being at the level that I'm at now doesn't feel right. Hence why I've done this kit and this test. It was pretty easy to use. I'm going to go through that with you in a few moments. But again, I think if you're thinking about TRT, this initial test costs £40. It's very simple to use and I'd recommend it. I think it's good to kind of check, and this is where my mindset was. It was basically a bit of a check and balance. I'm in my mid-30s, where am I up to, and is this something I want to kind of do into the future, and what are the key benefits? And the most important thing is, let's be honest, is how much is it going to cost? It's all well and good if I'm going to feel great, but if it's costing me £1,000 a month, that's a no-go. So I think let's think about this and we'll break it down together. So yeah, stick around. At the end of the video, I am going to be showing you my personal results, and so you can see how the pages display, what kind of information they're going to, and then you can make up your own mind, is it worth it for you? So this is the test kit that you get. So when you open it up, nice little pamphlet, stickers. You are going to need to use these eventually. And basically this is the box. Let's just tidy this up. So when you get it, you've got a nice little box that it comes in. It's already got a sticker on it, so we need to open this up. Let's see how easy this is to open up. So I've done it. Inside, you get another manual from Manual, and this is the vial. So, let's see if we can get that focus. So that's the vial, not too big compared to the enhanced blood test anyway. This is all the kit, and this is the bag, this is the delivery bag, and this is the seal. The order that you're going to need to do this in is you need the seal in the bag over there. We've got the stickers So we might as well do this now, to be honest with you. It's always good practice, just from previous experience. So this basically goes on the bag. We've got the vial, which is going to need one of these codes. And we just whack that on there. So I've done this before, so that's fine, that's fine. The next bit is the fun bit in regards to the actual blood itself. Obviously I'm not going to show that for obvious reasons, but it's pretty simple. And oh, that was interesting. So here you basically get two, these are your basically little needles. So you can't see anything there, but if you look inside that, if I can get that to focus, there's a little needle in there, and what you'll do is you'll basically stick it on your finger, pop, it'll click, and that's when the blood starts to come out. It's pretty simple though. Best thing to do is actually warm up your hands first. They do say try to stick it in your hands, that is, in warm water. They also say try not to work out, try not to do anything that might involve your balls beforehand, because obviously that can lead to an indifferent result. And to be fair, from doing this last time, there is a way of doing it that actually helps get the blood out quicker, which is simply just raising your elbow higher than your shoulder. Is that coming off? Yes, it has. So again, that's the vital. You can see that, lovely. So let's go back to this. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm just conscious of time. I'm going to click it in there. This is the fun bit. When I first did this, you do debate it, but you just need to go for it. It does have a little bit of a pop and a scratch, but it should be fine. So 3, and the best thing to do, if you can see that, is just put it behind your finger, like that. So if I go 3, 2, 1, there you go, it wasn't that bad at all. Do that, get your elbow up. So you can see that I've got a decent amount of blood there. Doesn't take long at all. I would definitely recommend standing up, or if you walk around. It's quite a good amount in there. So basically now the next bits are, we need to, and this is the bit to kind of just do this in the right order, because the instructions say now put your sticker on the bag, because that's what it's going to be delivered in. It makes it look like you then put the bag inside the box, but you don't, it's the other way around. So these are the instructions, and it's pretty, they're okay, but it's just these last couple of bottom steps that aren't brilliant. So just a little tip there, make sure you do it the other way around to what the instructions say. So we've got our blood, we're going to drop that into the bag. I've put another QR code on the back of there, if you can see that. Fold this down, drop that all the way down, actually make sure it's nice and flat. So that's flat. That's that. This then goes into the box, like so. We then close the box, like so. And then I'm going to add this new security seal on, so they know that it has been completely fine and not been tampered with. Da da da, ba ba ba. Nice and smooth. This goes into here, into the box. Nice and tidy. Fold that down. Try and get that down as much as I can. Cheeky fold there. And that's it. As simple as that. So how long has that taken? Maybe 10 minutes, if that. Hardest bit is obviously getting your finger to bleed, but again, just a couple of little tips. Get your elbow up. If that doesn't work, stand up, walk around, that'll get the blood flowing. It's not painful, to be fair. It's more painful after the fact now than the initial kind of bite, as they call it. So yeah, that was the test. Hopefully you found that useful, and now I'm going to show you what you get in regards to your results, and then also, so the next steps, the initial results, consultation feedback, and then my enhanced. Stick around. So that's the initial test done. You'll see that it was pretty quick. The instructions could be better, but we'll give them a pass on that. And you should get your results within the next week. They are pretty prompt, and they do try and get them in the lab between Monday and Thursday. That's when they process them. So now I'm going to show you my initial results. This is on their website. I can't see an app that they have, but it's pretty well displayed. It's pretty easy to follow as well, and it kind of breaks down what you're looking at and why you're looking at it and why it's important and where you're at. It also gives you a brief summary of your overall health. So when you first go into Manual, you'll be asked to log in, and once you do, depending on if you're looking for testosterone, they also do a range of other features and products, you'll be navigated to the relevant area. So obviously the purpose of this video and what I've been looking at is my testosterone levels. So let's have a look at what happens and what your results look like once you get that initial test back. So you can see that I've got two tests down here. The first one is the at-home test. Let's have a look at this. Now this comes with a quick summary. I don't think it's bespoke to me, to be honest with you. And then when you look down, there's only 4 markers that they look at. And you've got your testosterone here. You see free testosterone and your overall testosterone. So you can see in my initial test, it was suboptimal and low. If you click on learn more, it basically tells you what is testosterone, how does it work, but also for these other markers up here, it's quite good to say what it is, what does it do, how can you change it. So that's quite nice. So you can basically see that my testosterone is slightly under this green area here. My other markers look okay, kind of slap bang in the middle of average, sums up my life, which is cool. And then the next bit is, it'll basically say, what do you want to do next? Do you want to go for a consultation? Do you want to go for your enhanced bloods? And that's where I had the consultation. So after I did my initial test, I wanted a consultation. So you basically go onto Manual's website and they'll ask you for a consultation. They'll give you a slot and it kind of tells you who the person's going to be ringing you about. Now, I'm a senior business analyst by trade, so I have a very analytical mindset and I'm very, very logical and kind of thought process way of thinking. So most of the questions that I talked about were things like, what is the cost? What does the rhythm look like? How often am I going to have to take it? What volume am I going to have to take it? How do I take it? What are the benefits? What's the follow-up care? And so forth and so on. So let's break that down. In regards to cost, there's a range of treatments that they can provide, ranging from creams, implants, injections, tablets. They recommend that you try and do injections. In regards to the injection, because this is the avenue I went down, so I went, fair enough, of the injections, what does that cost? They said it ranges from £60 to £100. The £100 is more, you get better results basically, and you inject that into your belly. And then the other one is 60 quid and you inject it into your thigh or your arse or your glute, whichever way you would like to describe it. In regards to volume, they were saying on average you take it twice a week and you basically get a syringe, you're literally drawing out and injecting yourself. So I was like, okay, that's not great. It would be great if it was kind of predetermined for you and you did it yourself. I was like, fair enough. The next bit, this is an interesting point to kind of call out. The next bit is, are you actually going to do it long term or are you just testing it? And the reason this is important is because when you start taking, let's say, artificial testosterone, it's not naturally being produced in your body is going to go, I've got testosterone, I don't need to produce my own anymore. If you're only going to do it for 6 months, they recommend that you take another drug, which is a similar drug. Say if you're going to get a hair transplant, I don't know why I'm pointing at my hair because I've obviously not had a hair transplant. So the tablet on top of the testosterone is another about 20 quid. So you're talking 120 to say 80 quid on average around about that price bracket. Follow-up care point of view, what they recommend is within the first year you take a blood test every 3 months to get your results, and you will basically say to them, on your testosterone range, if I'm here, so this is the low point, this is the end point, and we're going to slowly increase it, and depending on where you get to, you might say, actually I feel good now. And what you don't want to do is go too far, you break out in acne, you're getting some side effects that you don't really want to have as part of testosterone. So you want to make sure that you're in your Goldilocks zone, and that's what those enhanced blood tests are all about. They want to make sure you're in your right place for you, because that's obviously personalized. So that's quite good. It seems very kind of bespoke and personalized to your needs, which is good, because if you're paying 100 quid a month for it, I would expect that, to be fair. And in regards to duration, I basically said, long term, if I'm 60 years old and I just don't want to do it anymore, what would the consequences be? They basically said, well, your testosterone is just going to drop like a brick. But in the long scheme of things, what you've done is you kind of kept your testosterone and it's just going to drop. What would have happened naturally is you would have just slowly have gone down. So you're still getting the benefits between now and when you ever want to come off, because eventually you will come off, let's be honest. So after I had that consultation, I thought I'm interested to at least see what my enhanced blood looks like, because it's got 40 to 50 different markers ranging from your white blood cells, red blood cells, testosterone. There's a range of stuff. We're going to go into that in more detail. So I went ahead with that, and like I said, I got 20% off, so it cost around £70. So once you've done your initial test and you've got your results, they'll basically give you an option. What do you want to do next? So if your testosterone is slightly low, which my initial one was, they'll basically say, we recommend you going for an enhanced blood test. And this actually looks at between 40 to 50 different markers. So again, if you're in your mid-30s and you need to do a generic health check, this could be a good route anyway. And I'll go into that in more detail in a few moments. But just having a look at my enhanced blood test results as well, this is what they look like. So my enhanced blood test again came with a little summary at the top, but you can tell by the scroll bar on the side that there's quite a significant more markers. Now most of these are either fine or high, which is interesting because even though I've been looking at testosterone, the main thing that's come out is actually my cholesterol level, which is by the by and something I'll have to have a look at. But again, in regards to testosterone levels and all that type of stuff, this was just border. So that's why they've said your initial test was low. This test is saying it's okay-ish. Can you redo it? So fair play to them. What they've done is this test that I've just shown you now is actually the free test that I got. So again, you pay 40 quid for the initial test. I'm paying about 70 quid for this one because I got the discount. And now they've actually sent me a free home learner kit. So again, it's pretty good. And again, the next bit is, what do you do from here? So as you can see from my enhanced blood test results, my testosterone actually came up slightly higher than my initial one, which is odd to say the least, but it is what it is. So what they've done is they've sent me another test to do. So I thought I'll record it and you guys can follow along for me. So thanks very much for watching this episode on testosterone replacement therapy and also the review of Manual's home testosterone kit. If you do like this episode, feel free to like, share and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And again, feel free to share with anyone that you might feel would benefit from this. I am looking to put out content more regularly, and hopefully you can see from this video that we're trying to make the edits better, we're trying to get more cameras involved and that type of stuff. So I am looking to invest into this channel. So I am going to be setting up a Patreon as well. That'd be marvellous if people could support me on there. So yeah, thanks very much. Stick around. I post daily cold plunge videos, so that's a big part of my routine. I've got a video previously where I go into the morning routine and why it's so important to set your day up well. So yeah, hopefully you're liking the content. I will see you around, and thank you all for watching. Take care. Bye.